3 results. Anger. Say it with me. You can say it with me. Anger. You said things you don't mean to say. And you quit. And it's produced out of frustration. Why? Because we're impatient. So I'm on this path and I'm walking this pathway towards God. But I become impatient because I want God to start to do for me faster than the world around me is moving. Well, God, I'm serving you. Where's my house? Well, God, I'm serving you. Where's my peace? Well, God, I'm serving you. Why are my kids not saved? Well, God, I'm serving you. Why how come I don't have a man? How come I don't have a girl? How come I don't have a better job? How come I'm not doing good in school? How come? How come? How come? And our impatience begins to produce a frustration in us that now we gear towards God because God's path is taking too long. My path is faster. So now what do? I quit and choose another path, don't we? Because I'm impatient with God. God's not doing it fast enough. God's not. We walk because we believe. Listen to me. Vision is not what you see. Vision is what you believe. Vision is not what you see. Vision is what you believe. Walk is a part of our human life. But notice it. It's a moving on. It's a continual moving. The days of our life go by as almost a scene of a movie. Have you ever just saw parts of your life and it's almost like a movie? Because as you walk and as you do this, life is going by and life is going around you, and it's like panoramic view would be. I see everything and I'm taking everything in my life as I'm going on, and I'm almost watching life go by. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever seen and felt like life is just going by? It's slow moving. That's why it's a walk. Steady and regular as the clock. Time moves on. So does our walk. Walking is slow and regular. And write this down too if we're taking notes. Everybody walks at a different pace. The Bible says this though, how can two walk together unless they're in agreement? Which means, and this was, I'll personalize this. As a pastor of a church, 5 years, I was thinking 5,000-6,000 people. Second building project, we'd be good. When we're not there, what do you think it begins to produce in me? Because I became impatient, so now I'm frustrated. Frustration starts to get me what? Angry. Not angry at me, I'm angry inside. Then I start saying things I don't want to do. I'm quitting. I'm looking for another job. I'm a pastor, getting calls from other churches. Seriously, getting calls from other churches. I want you to pastor. Really? Yeah, how big? 500-600? Babe, we could get a job. But that was the good one. Babe, we could get a job pastoring a church in South Carolina, right? Yeah, 2,500 people. We could do this. School, look, they got a school, they got this, they got that. All right, it's a little country for me, but I'll make it work. 2,500 people. Yeah, we'll make it work. You understand? You get frustrated. Now what's the thing to do? You want to quit. Let's quit. Because your timing is based upon the walk. The problem is, how can you walk in agreement? And the problem is, I'm not walking by myself. I'm walking with the 40 people you see yourself around. So now as I walk, I have to walk according to whose pace? Your pace. Not my pace. And that's frustration when you have to walk with someone that walks a lot slower. And I learned that. Can I borrow my wife, please? We walk together. We walk together a lot. All right? Couples, don't you? And sometimes you want to hold hands. The problem is we walk at different speeds. So I'm like here, and she's like here, and I'm like, you know what? Just, all right. Because you slow me down. It's just slowing me down. And I can't enjoy the agreement as if we walked together. Now we're in agreement, And she slowed me down, but the thing that I do get to enjoy, as opposed to walking faster than her, is her company and her fellowship. And the agreement of the things that we want to do together. But the problem is, we all have to find a similar pace. And what happens in life is that you start to move yourself at other people's paces. And what happens? It doesn't work for you. Other people's pace doesn't work for you. Because other people's pace doesn't work for you, you get impatient. Because you get impatient, you become frustrated. You guys are learning. Excellent. You guys are paying attention. Frustrated. And it happens, and it's the walk, and that's what happens. It is moving on through ever-changing scenes, as is the path of a traveler, going uphill, now dusty highways. And when Jesus is your companion, Jesus is walking with you, the problem is that you want to go one way, and he wants to go another. And it leads into you and Jesus walking in different directions. And many times it's because Jesus is standing here waiting for you to come back in your direction, because we have spiritual ADD. Because we're walking with Jesus, and I'm walking with Jesus, me and Jesus, we do our gangster show. Because we got a deep crew, you know, we got a couple hundred, so we're walking. And all of a sudden I see something, I'm like, ooh, Jesus, look at that car. And Jesus is like, come back, Steve. I'm like, yo, this car is nice. And I'm looking at this car, and I'm like, I can drive it, get a test drive. Now I get in the car, and Jesus is over there driving. I'm like, turn around. Yo, Jesus, come on. You're my co-pilot. Jesus is like, no, because you're not going where I'm going. And Jesus is standing there outside the car waiting. And he's waiting for me to get out, not for him to get in. And you're waiting for him to get in. Now you're frustrated because you're not moving, and what do? You drive along. Why? Because you got distracted by the car. Or you and Jesus are walking, and you see the house. Ooh, Jesus, look at the house. You start looking in the house, and you're like, oh, Jesus, 5 bedrooms, flat screen TV, couch. Now, you're chilling. Jesus is outside waiting to start walking again. And you're distracted by your brand new house. So now you stop walking because of the house. Or you be walking, you're like, Jesus, check her out. You're like, hold up. What's your name? Your father must have been a thief, because he took the stars in the sky. Oh, excuse me, this is the best one. Can I have a quarter? Why? Because I told my mother the moment I fell in love, I'd give her a quarter. Yeah, I'll keep going like that. And Jesus is standing there, right? No, come on now. Now Jesus is standing there, and what's Jesus doing? Jesus is like, dude, come on. That's not what I got for you. That's not the direction we're going in. She's going to be on the path, but not at this stop. So now what happens is, now I'm distracted, and Jesus is there, and now I'm walking with honey. And now it's not working out so good. And now and now we get married, and now we got kids. Now it's not working out good, and now I come to Jesus and say, Jesus, it's not working out. And Jesus is like, well, I didn't tell you to stop. You stopped walking. But you got impatient. You wanted what you wanted. You got distracted. Now distraction produced a marriage, and now I'm frustrated in my marriage. I become angry. I start saying things I didn't want to say, and then there you go. 58% of society. 62% in the church. So here we are, because we become impatient, and on this walk, on this journey with God, we start settling for the detours rather than the pathway. What happens? I need money. I'm on the walk with Jesus. Now, the one thing I notice that's interesting about the Bible, and especially when you start really reading it, you start really reading the Gospels, it never said that they talked about wanting money. Jesus was always chill with money. Now, I'm not saying because he was super rich and he rolled deep, because he didn't. I'm just saying Jesus didn't worry about money. I'm just saying Jesus had it all under control. Not because he had money. I've heard people say, oh, well, Jesus walked with years worth of wages on him. Jesus had money. That's why he had a money change guy. Listen, Judas couldn't carry a whole lot of money because it was on one guy. You're not carrying bags and bags and purses of money. They didn't have a designated donkey that carried the cash. You understand? The dude had a purse. And on the purse he had, some loot, whatever you could carry in your pocket. Oh, we're hungry. All right, here's some money for food. Oh, we need this, we need that. And that's how it worked. And Jesus never sweated for things because when he needed something, it came, it supplied. Don't worry about what you're going to eat. Don't worry about what you're going to drink. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care. And Jesus lived and walked the path he preached. So as he walked the path he preached, he had to teach patience to those who walked with him. Because that's what happened. Some of them were zealots. And they got frustrated. Oh, we got to liberate the kingdom of Israel now. Come on. And they carry swords, and they're all militant. You always have that one militant friend, that one militant brother that's just like, yeah, let's burn it, let's fight them. In college I used to have this one friend that everything was like, yo, what? And we just wanted, like, stop, dude. They just invited us to play some PlayStation. Relax. You all have friends like that. You know that one that's just like hyped up on everything. Then you got that one political friend that's just, it's conspiracy. And this is what Jesus rolled with. This is who Jesus had. And he had to calm them down, teach them, and walk with them at his pace. And here Jesus is walking. And they didn't worry about food. Read your Bibles, read your Gospels. Jesus never talked about, and they came and there was even a time that Jesus is teaching all day. Now you think pastor spoke for 45 minutes. Imagine sitting there on the mountain all day. They're all day and Jesus is teaching and they're captivated by him. And what happens is they get hungry. They're like, we got to send these people out because they're hungry. And Jesus is like, no, we'll feed them. And they're like, it's going to take days worth of money to feed these people. Plus, where are we going to find a store that's going to cater right now? It's not like we get a couple 6-foot heroes right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we could go to the deli. There was nothing around. And Jesus goes, see what we got. See what it's out there. There's a boy that's fishing some loaves of bread. And Jesus said, all right, it's good enough for me. It says that he blessed it and gave thanks and fed 4,000. Why? Nothing sweated him. So on this path, this walking out, this journey of faith, Jesus' pace is much different than ours. And Jesus' expectations are much different than ours. And Jesus' needs are much different than ours. But because we put our expectation and our needs ahead of the pathway, we become distracted and sidetracked and veer off. And we spend time in distraction rather than in our destiny. Do you hear me? We can spend years in distraction and only seconds in our destiny. And what happens is we live in distraction rather than in promise. We have to understand that this walk is moving us somewhere because we're moving. For he who walks has some end before him. Someone, as you walk, you have an end result, don't you? Don't you always have a destination? At least, you know, if you're going to come 11 o'clock on a Sunday, we know they're going to be here. There's an end result and a destination that you know that is promised. What happens on Sunday? You show up and nobody's here. You'll be like, snap, what happened? Gates down. And you didn't know we moved. And you don't know these things. And you're frustrated. Now you're upset. Now you start searching. What happens is this. Many times in our lives, we veer off track to a destination and we try to go to the same spot we thought we left Jesus. And when we don't find him there, what happens? We become panicked. We become anxious. Because I thought Jesus was here. Now he's not. I need him. Need them now. And you don't know how to get in touch with them. And now you realize that you have to go searching for them.